Hi everyone, I'm Suzanne Culberg and I'm a weight mindset coach. And today I'm going to talk about how the struggle and success cycle, which I see so often with my weight clients, how that also relates to business. So a little bit about me. I used to be a yo-yo dieter. I have lost and gained in excess of 500 kilograms in my life. And then when I found the mindset work, I was able to release 78 kilograms and keep that off for 2 years now. You may not believe it, but I am a shy introvert. Before I started my business, I really struggled. Like even going to a networking event was really hard. I had to take my friends with me. I'd never ask a question. And now the opportunity to present this to you is amazing. And I'm really grateful to Tash and everybody who supported me coming out of my shell. I'm known as the Velvet Hammer, affectionately by my clients. The velvet is I'm very loving and caring. The hammer is I don't take BS. And although I'm a weight coach and I have had a successful weight journey myself, kale still tastes like I'd rather be fat. So enough about me. Is this you? Do you take courses, watch videos, listen to podcasts, read books, and yet you don't seem to be making the progress that you thought you would, or the progress that's promised when you sign up for the course or read the blurb of the book? Do you get caught up in BSO, which is bright, shiny objects, thinking, oh, I just need that. When I have that, then my business will take off. When I have that, and you're always looking for the next thing. Or FOMO, do you have fear of missing out? Like, I can talk about this passionately because I get it. They do say you teach what you most need to know. Are you inconsistent with your action? You're like, yes, I'm going to blog. And you blog for a couple of weeks and you're like, oh, it's too hard. Or I'm going to post my Facebook 5 times a day, and you do it for 3 days and you burn out. Like, no judgment, but I get it. Are you just waiting to go viral already? Like, once I'm discovered, everyone will know how awesome I am. If any of those resonate with you, I encourage you to keep watching. So I'm going to talk about this model, and this might be where you are now, and this is what I call the struggle cycle. So you start off with what can fix me. So you're like, my business isn't where I hoped it would be, isn't where I need it to be to, put food on the table, provide for my family. Because I'm like, oh, what can fix me? So we find the solution: book, course, program, coach, person. We found the thing. It's exciting. And we start with gusto. Let's do this, And we listen and we watch and we read and we consume the information. And then we get to the point where we're like supposed to do something and we're like, oh, this is tricky. Because I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but there seems to be this strange phenomenon amongst many people, myself included, where we think that by learning, by consuming information, we've changed, we've grown. And we can get really frustrated because I read the book, I listened to the course, I did the program, but did you really? And there's no judgment here. But, this is the phase that we get into. And when we start to be confronted with having to do stuff, we're like, this sucks. No, this sucks. The thing that 3 steps ago was the solution now sucks. So what do we do from here? We can bypass the next step and go looking for the next one. Must be the next book, must be the next course, must be the next program. Or we can be like, Suze, I've said this to myself before, you've invested big bucks in this, keep going. And when I do, I get to I suck. Now this is a pivotal moment, because from the I suck, we can just be like, oh, give up entirely for now, wait till motivation comes back. This is where it works a lot in weight loss as well, and go looking for the next thing. Or if we stick it out, the way out is through. We can come onto the success cycle. So yes, you're hearing me right. When you get to the phase of I suck, it feels like the dark night of the soul. It's actually the pivot to the new way of being. Because when we're here and going, I suck, and really feel into that, we get to a place where we stop looking for the next course or the next program or the next thing. And we start to realize that perhaps this is an inner journey. So then we take imperfect action or aligned action. We keep going. So say, for example, for myself, I have sent a newsletter every week for 2.5 years now. At the beginning, I think there was 4 people on my list, but I did it. I didn't have the accolades. I wasn't going viral, but I did it every single week. And it became like brushing my teeth. I don't think about it now. And then you realize I'm making progress over time. You see the numbers of that list slowly creep up. You see the open rates creep up. You start to get some responses and people saying, hey, I really loved that. And that keeps going. But the thing is, you're like, okay, Suze, why does this cycle go back into I suck? Because there's always a new level. Like there's that saying, new level, new devil. Because once I nailed the newsletter thing, I was like, oh, but I still suck. Like I'm not rich. I haven't gone viral. I don't have the millions of followers. So once you do the one thing, there's something else. So if we look at this picture all together, the struggle cycle and the success cycle, it's actually like an infinity thing. Because once you nail that thing, whatever it is that you're working on, it becomes like a new way of being. There will be something else. And for some people, that's really confronting because they're just like, oh, what's the point of doing this? There's always going to be something else. But for me, that's really exciting. To say, for example, this summit presentation, a year ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this. And I know for some of you who are extroverted, who are confident, you're like, what do you mean you can't do this, Suzanne? It's just a video. But for me, this is really confronting. This is part of my new level. And I did a lot of, oh, I suck before I could even put this presentation together. And then, you know, the next level, it could be something again. So you can get stuck in that cycle and have the same old problems over and over and over, or you can get excited about new problems. So you're likely on the struggle cycle if you're trying to do all the things. You're like trying to blog and newsletter and, you know, you're doing everything and you get distracted by bright, shiny objects. You compare your start to other people's successes. Like you might have been watching this and go, oh, Suzanne, she's got the backdrop, she's got this, she's got that. This has been years in the making and it was a step-by-step thing. Don't compare. Like if you'd seen me a couple of years ago, if you go back and look at my beginning videos, you'll see a whole different story. We focus on the gap between where we are and where we want to be. You know that I want a six-figure business. I know that I want to be able to support my family. My personal goal is retire my husband. But it seems so far away. What can I do today? And I think, oh, nobody reads my newsletter anyway. What's the point of sending it? So you fall out of that consistency. If you do send it, that's the small compound interest that gathers over time. And we can get overwhelmed and frustrated because we're not there yet. And that leads to procrastination. I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. A way to transition from that struggle cycle, if that sounds familiar, into the success cycle is to dream big and act small imperfectly. So if you've got the dream of the six-figure business or the 10 clients or 5K month or whatever your dream is, and it seems so far away, don't let yourself get overwhelmed by the next 40 steps. Take one step today and don't allow that perfectionism go, I don't know how to do this. Do what you can. Get help, get support. Part of taking action is asking for support. You don't have to do it all yourself. Implement that one strategy consistently. You might be like, well, what's the point of sending a newsletter every week? Or you might feel excited watching all these summit presentations and be like, okay, I'm going to do this and do this and do this and do this. And then you burn yourself out. No. Map out all the things that you want to do. This is something I do frequently. I map out all the steps. I want a podcast. I want a website. I want a blog. I want a newsletter. Okay, which one am I going to do? And the other thing, and this is something where you definitely teach what you most need to know, Suzanne, celebrate every small step. Because the goal always seems so far away and so much bigger, we can be like, oh, I'm never going to get there. But celebrate every step. Like I do this regularly now. I've scheduled it into my diary. I look back and I go, wow, look at how far I've come, how confident I am on video, how I put my hand up for things, how I volunteer. Past Suze was shy and quiet and just kind of hid in the corner. So that's a huge celebration. Often we think we can't celebrate until we have the dollars in the bank, until we have the kilos lost. But when you celebrate the process, the things that will bring you that, the outcome will come. And it's really important to remember the intention, the goal, plus attention, action equals outcome. Passively watching videos, reading books, feeling like you've transformed, but you've actually done nothing is a really frustrating place to be. But the action you take doesn't need to be ginormous. You don't need to overhaul your whole life today or this week. And if you do, you'll probably burn out. You'll do something small. It doesn't need to be the big dollars or the number of signups. It can be something really, really small. So I'd love to know, let me know in the comments, what are you taking away from today? The takeaway, I laugh because I'm a weight coach, that will contribute to your goal. Because I don't want this to be another thing that you consume and watch and go, oh, she's got some great points, and then move on to the next thing. What's one thing that you've learned that you would take away from this? I would love to hear it. Thanks for watching. Bye.